Good morning, students. Today we start exercise 1.2. In this exercise, we use addition and subtraction properties of integers. So the first question, write down a pair of integers whose sum is -7. In this question, we don't have any condition. We don't know both the integers are negative or one integer is negative and one is positive. So we take both the ways to solve these problems. So the first answer, first of all, we take two integers whose sum is 7. So 3 plus 4 is 7. But we want -7. If these integers are negative, minus is plus. 4 plus 3 is 7 and 4 is a greater number. Its sign is minus. So the answer will be negative. So one pair is -3, -4. And we take more examples. -1, -6 is -7. -2 and -5 is -7. So one pair is -1, -6, -2, -5. In second, we take one integer is positive and one integer is negative. 17 and 10. 17 is positive and 10 is negative. Plus minus. 17 minus 10 is 7. Plus 7. And we want -7. It means it's wrong. If we take -17 and plus 10, greater number is negative. So the answer will be negative. Plus minus. 17 minus 10 is 7. And the 17 is a greater number, its sign is negative, so the answer will be negative. So next pair is -17 and 10. In these pairs, both the integers are negative. In this pair, one integer is negative and one integer is positive. So we have lots of pairs of these type of integer whose sum is -7. Now B part, difference is -10. So we take two integers whose difference is -10. 5 and 15. Both are positive integers. If we subtract greater number from the smaller number, then the answer will be negative and we want -10. Plus minus. 15 minus 5 is 10. And 15 is a greater number. Its sign is negative. So the answer will be negative. So the pair is 5 and 15. And we take one more example. 10 and 20. Plus minus. 20 minus 10 is 10. And 20 is a greater number. Its sign is negative, so the answer will be negative. 10 and 20. So if we subtract greater number, this greater number from the least number, so the answer will be negative. Otherwise, answer is positive. 15 minus 5 is 10, not -10. So the pair is 5 and 15. Now C part, sum is 0. If we take same number with different sign, then the answer will be 0. 5 and -5. When we add these numbers, plus minus, and 5 minus 5 is 0. So the pair 5 and -5. We take more examples, 10 and -10. 20 and -20 and so on. We have lots of pair of these type of integer whose sum is 0. Now second question, first part. Write a pair of negative integer whose difference gives 8. How can it possible? Both the integers are negative and the answer is positive. Student, it is possible. When we subtract larger number from the smaller number, then it is possible. So we take examples. 8 plus 8. We want plus 8. Minus 2 and 10 and minus 10. When we add these two negative integers, then the answer will be positive. We subtract these numbers. Minus 2 minus minus is plus 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. And 10 is a greater number. Its sign is positive. So the answer will be positive. So the first pair, minus 2 and minus 10. We have lots of example. Minus 10 and minus 18. Minus 10 minus minus is plus 18. 18 minus 10 is 8. And greater number is 18 and its sign is positive. So the answer will be positive. Hence one pair is minus 10 and minus 18. So we have lots of pair of these type of integer. Now second question, B part. Write a negative integer and a positive integer whose sum is minus 5. We take one negative integer and one positive integer and their sum is minus 5. So the examples are, if we take one negative integer and one positive integer and find their sum. Plus minus is, this is negative integer as is positive integer, and we find the sum of these numbers. Plus minus is minus, 15 minus 10 is 5, and 15 is a greater number and its sign is positive, so the answer will be positive. So one pair is minus 10 and 15. We take one more example, minus 20 and 15. If we sum these numbers, plus minus minus, 25 minus 20 is 5. So minus 20 and 25. Now second question, C part. Write a negative integer and a positive integer whose difference is minus 3. Now we take a negative integer and a positive integer and their difference is minus 3. So we take minus 1 is a negative integer and 2 is a positive integer. Now we find the difference of these numbers. Minus minus is plus. So minus 1 minus 3 is, minus 2 is minus 3. Minus minus is plus, 1 plus 2 is 3 and 2 is a negative number. A greater number, its sign is minus. So the answer will be negative. So the pair is minus 1 and 2. You take more pairs.